Are you thinking about taking your divorce case to trial? It could be the right move, or it could be a major mistake. I'm Matt Dolan with Dolan Divorce Lawyers in Connecticut, and today I'm going to talk about when you should and should not take your divorce case to trial. Now, most cases do not go to trial. At some point along the way, the parties are able to sit down, whether it's with a judge or just their lawyers, and they're able to reach a compromise and enter into a settlement agreement. Now, if they are unable to do that and they are unable to compromise, the final step in the legal process in Connecticut is to go in front of a judge and have a trial. And it's just like you see on TV. Both parties will present evidence, they'll call witnesses, and ultimately it will be a judge who's making a decision, and that decision is binding. Now, there are a number of reasons to go to trial, and there are a number of reasons not to go to trial. And the reasons not to go to trial are more numerous than the reasons to go to trial, so we're going to start with those. First off, it's expensive. Paying lawyers and expert witnesses for their time to be in court can cost tens of thousands of dollars or even more than that. It will also take up a lot of your time where you will not be able to be at home with your family or at work. Instead, you will be stuck in court presenting evidence to a judge. It's emotionally taxing to both you and your children if you have them. It's a situation where you're in combat in court and you're presenting evidence and you're attacking one another, and that can be tremendously taxing on a family that will, in many cases, have a long future together even after the divorce is over, particularly if there are children involved. And finally, it's risky. If you reach a settlement, you have some degree of control over the process. You can have certainty that, okay, you may not be particularly happy with the settlement, or it may not be your ideal scenario, but at least you can control the language in your agreement and you have predictability as to what is going to happen with your case. Now, that control goes almost entirely out the window when you go to trial. It's a judge who's making a decision, and you may like that decision or you may not like that decision, but you lose control over having predictability in the terms of your agreement if you go to trial and have a third party making a decision. Now, as far as I'm concerned, there's only one good reason to take a case to trial, and that is if it's necessary to protect your rights. If the other side is being unreasonable and they're just simply not willing to compromise, they're not willing to reach an agreement that is fair to you, then in many cases you have no choice but to go to trial. You're not going to agree to a situation where you are hurting yourself financially, or you are hurting your children by not having enough time with them. In that situation, you often have to go to trial and unfortunately have to spend the money, have to take up your time, have to go through the emotionally taxing process in order to protect your rights and protect the best interest of your children if you have them. Now, there are also bad reasons to take a case to trial, but that is to punish the other side. Maybe you want to just torture your spouse and create a situation that is emotionally taxing for them or forces them to spend their money. I don't think that's a good reason to take a case to trial. We certainly try not to do that at our office. We do not encourage that for our clients, but some people find that that is a good reason to take a case to trial. So the bottom line is that you should do your best to avoid trial, particularly if you and your spouse are close to a settlement agreement, if you're trying to protect your kids from a high conflict situation, or if you want to save your own time and money. So I would advise you to speak with your attorney about the pros and cons of going to trial and whether or not it makes sense for you in your particular situation. As usual, if you have any additional questions, you can feel free to contact our office. And if you are looking for representation in a divorce or family law case here in Connecticut, we would invite you to contact our office as well.